Okay, morning everybody. All right, let's get started. All right, stocks had a little bit of a pullback in the US yesterday with the S&P posting its first full 5-day losing streak of the year. As an unlikely government shutdown and debt ceiling debate pest investors. The pullbacks have been quite shallow, and you can see the S&P future up 6 points this morning. So a little bit of a pullback, but nothing I don't think to get too worried about. And then stocks swung between gains and losses yesterday. Market struggling to find a direction after the release of solid durable goods orders and new home sales data. And then in Asia, stocks trading mixed. Nikkei advancing on Japanese weakness. Crude oil fell slightly. For the sixth day after U.S. stockpiles increased to 2.64 million barrels. And then Chinese and Hong Kong shares are off a little bit as well. Next Tuesday they've got that 7-day Golden Week holiday. No corporate action. And then so the key factors today that we're looking at: French consumer confidence, Italian retail sales out this morning, European M3 money supply at 10, UK second quarter GDP at 10:30. Initial jobless claims 2:30, second quarter GDP annualized 2:30, and at 4 o'clock we've got US pending home sales. All right, so let's have a look at the maps. So the first thing we're going to show is the Aussie. The Aussie's had a massive run, broken out of this upward sloping wedge that we've been going on for the last, or pretty much for the whole year. You can see we've consolidated right underneath this breakout point, for the last couple of months, or month or two. So that's given it the impetus to break through and to continue going. And going into quarter end, you really got to feel that it's unlikely that it's going to be pulling back in the next week. So if I was you, I would be looking for the long side, looking to get long on every opportunity until the end of the month at least. All right, let's have a look at SA Breweries, another one we've been following for a while. It's been a difficult one to trade, purely because we had that one false breakout, not really a false breakout, it broke out and it came all the way back to test the line. Spent a little bit of time there, and it's really pushed higher now. It's pushed higher above this sort of potential right shoulder that it was forming, and so now, and yesterday it actually came back and tested that previous high at 506, 507, and bounced and closed at the high of the day at 515. So I would really say, based on the breakout of this channel, we're looking at a target of around 532, I think, and then based on the full height of this wedge, we've got about 50 or 60 rand to the upside from that 500 points. So we're looking at a slightly more medium-term target at between 550 and 560. So SA Brewery is looking really good. I like the way this is one shaping up for the long side. So look at ShopRite. ShopRite had a really good day yesterday. We formed this rounding bottom after this steep sell-off, so we've got a bit of a cup and handle going. The handle broke yesterday and got through that 170 level. And once it got through that 170 yesterday, you really got the feeling that it was never ever going to pull back, and it traded really well, closed at the high of the day, or pretty close to the high of the day. So, the height of this pattern projected up, we're looking at about 13 or 14 bucks, so it takes us up to 184-ish. And I think if we can probably draw a line coming down here, which is going to probably get us more or less the same point. So I would say we're probably going to get there sooner than not, unless something really crazy happens with the market. As I said, we've got quarter end coming, and so there's a very likely push in some of these counters. Let's have a look at, actually I didn't even write this one down, but let's have a look at Willys quickly. It was one I was watching yesterday. Also, broke out of this big double bottom, projecting about a 78 buck target, I think. We had that nice burst higher, we've since consolidated again, similar to ShopRite. We broke up yesterday, broke out of this little consolidation at around $75, closed at about, what did we close at, 76? And so 78 is definitely on the near-term cards, and I would say probably into the 80s. Is quite a reasonable assumption if we get a strong quarter end. Let's have a quick look at Discovery. Discovery had a steep sell-off, and it's been forming a bit of a flag, I suppose, in the medium term. It's actually, I'd actually tried to short this thing a couple of times, feeling like it could break again down to the downside, but it's been able to hang in there. Obviously, with a historically strong stock like Discovery, you're looking for places to buy it. I wouldn't buy it yet, but if it had to break through sort of just below 90s, call it 89.50ish, then that could be the thing that gets it going again. Alternatively, if it breaks below 86.50, 86, I would really want to see a clear breakdown before I sold it. Otherwise, just leave it alone and wait for sort of a lower target around 75, which could be a good support level to be buying off. If you look at Mediclinic, another one that's been quite a solid performer. It broke out of this consolidation, broke out, came back and tested it. It's bounced again, and formed another consolidation, and it's pulled back and held there. And we had a nice big reversal day up yesterday. If we look at the projection from this symmetrical triangle that it broke out of, we're looking at 62 to 72, so about $10 target from the breakout, which would take us to about 80 Rand. As I say, yesterday we had a nice sort of reversal of support, and I would say 80 Rand is quite a reasonable target. That's $3 higher from here. And then let's have a look at Remgro. This is also one that we have been watching. Remgro has broken out of this big symmetrical triangle, gotten through. I'm guessing it's quite psychological resistance at $200. It failed there last time, but it's consolidated. You can see this consolidation right underneath 200, which sort of suggests that it's building up steam to really blow higher, the next leg higher. Target from this the big symmetrical triangle is around about 225, I think. About 215 would be the first target. So let's look for a target of 215 if we get another push out of Remgro. So watch some strength off 200. If it fails 200, then you probably should leave it alone until we get some confirmation that it can get through there. And then the last one we're going to look at is CFR quickly. CFR has been another good technical chart here. We had this little consolidation, a continuation, sort of, don't want to say inverse head and shoulders because it's not that pretty, but it broke higher, came back and tested the line exactly, and has pushed off that line again. If we have to project this higher, we can probably look at a target of 84 to 83.9. I would say getting back to previous highs is very likely, and possibly quite a bit higher. So another one to watch on the long side, CFR. Obviously, with the rand moving around quite a bit lately, it's not that easy to play. So we've got to obviously exercise a little bit of caution. And that's all for today, guys. Good luck trading.